How's everybody going? Just gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the two front windows on this this Telluride. We're gonna go ahead and match those to the back. So we're gonna go ahead and just get everything going, show you what the process is, how we do things around here. Everything we do, we plotter cut. So we're just gonna go here into our system, pull up our car. What is this here that we have? Kia Telluride. We're gonna do the two fronts. Click on those. Meanwhile, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna load our ceramic film into the plotter that we're gonna match it with. Go ahead and load that bad boy, this stuff up right here. So, make sure get our film in through here real quick. Make sure our platter, everything is lined up. Boom. Do that. All right, now that we have our two windows up over here, I like to move them over just a little tiny bit. Sometimes whenever I cut them all the way to the edge, it gets a little wonky. I feel like it cuts a little bit over what it's supposed to, or it might cut where the pinch roller is. So I like to shift it just a little bit. So now we're going to go ahead, send that the plot, make sure roller, everything's working out fine right there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Also, we're gonna do the front sun strip on this vehicle also as well. So we're gonna cut that one out also. After we're done with that, we'll be good to go. I like to right at the end, I like to just hold the film here so I can just start rolling it up, and also to keep it from pinching or binding up sometimes, especially when you're doing a big cut with a couple windows. So roll it up here, pull this a couple inches more farther so I can go ahead and cut this out. And we're gonna go ahead and get ready to go ahead and cut our stuff. What we have here, this is my little cart that I have for basically all the cleaning and the prepping. And then we have our cart over here that's got all our installation stuff and whatnot. So we're gonna turn on our little sprayer. Turn it on. Turn on our sprayer. Wipe down our board. Always remember to wipe down our board, because you got to try to remember, you got to eliminate as much contamination as possible, and sometimes you don't know where it comes from, so you try to clean everything you possibly can to try to eliminate it. That. Put up our pattern and start weeding it. I know a lot of guys hand cut, and that's awesome. I started hand cutting as well, but this just makes for a lot faster process for me. I really enjoy it, and all these patterns are actually really good anyway, so I've never had really much of an issue with them. So we just go ahead and we're weeding our pattern here. Come down here. Sit there. Boom. That one. There's that. So what we can do here is one of two things after we're done getting our pattern cut is we can take our pattern, we can shrink it on the vehicle, or we can shrink it right on this glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shrink it right on the glass, and I'll show you guys exactly how I do it. And it's just a matter of practice after you've done so many SUVs. Once you get in your head like an idea of how much shrink a pattern actually needs, you can sort of just calculate it and kind of eyeball it to the amount of shrink that you need. So typically these don't need a whole lot of shrink. So basically we're positioning them on our glass like how we would on your car, right? We're gonna lock the two sides, the top edge, the bottom edge. I mean the two edges and the top edge. And then what we're gonna shrink is a little bit. What we're gonna shrink is down in here. Like I said, it's not a whole lot. So it's got a little bit of a finger there, not a whole lot, but it's gonna be just enough to get it to sit nicely on your glass. And as you can see while you're doing this, you see your film react just slightly. It's not as much as it is whenever you're doing a car, but it's gonna be good enough to eliminate some of those fingers. Because I know also there is guys who, a lot of these SUVs, they install them without even shrinking them, which is awesome. I've never really learned how to do that. But to each their own. This is just how I've learned to do this. I mean, it saves me some time with having to prep that outside of the glass on the car also as well. And then, as you can see, you also get little fingers that pop up just like how they do whenever you're shrinking it on the actual vehicle as well. So just do that. So basically, to create a pocket, but on this flat glass, which again, like I said, that's why it takes a little bit of practice, because then once you've actually done it on a couple vehicles on the actual doors, you'll get an idea in your head about how much to shrink, so that way you don't have any fingers when you go to install it. So that there. And now we'll go on this top one. Basically the same thing. So I like to, when I shrink, and if you've seen any of our other videos, I like to shrink evenly all the way across. I know some guys like to create a couple big fingers and then just individually shrink each finger. There is no right or wrong way. It's just whatever works for you. This is what works for me. In my head, the way I do things, I like this better. I seem to think that when we shrink everything evenly, everything has a nice constant tension all the way across the film, as opposed to shrinking the big fingers by themselves. I think that creates more tension just on the areas that you just shrunk alone, as opposed to doing a nice even shrink all the way across. So once we've done that, this bad boy's already shrunk and ready to go. Put our heat gun back. I like to try to get into the habit of putting everything back, because then stuff's not in the way, right? So now that we got that all done, go ahead and weed the excess off our pattern here. There's one, our driver's side ready to go. And then we're gonna have our passenger side here ready to go as well. Weed that part out. Another thing that I like to do is whenever I get these patterns cut out, as you can see these little corners, it leaves you a little, like a hard corner. I like to just round it off, just to eliminate anything that might catch while it's installed. Those little hard corners are usually the ones that will catch and cause an issue for you. So now that we got that all set and ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and get our vehicle ready so we can start getting our install done. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to cover our door panels. Now when we install this stuff, very rarely does it will we ever the installation solution and stuff like that it's not going to harm anything in here. But we do know sometimes, you know, some of our customers come in and they have their doors all nicely detailed already, and they have dressing on there and whatnot. So whenever we do spray them down, that dressing does tend to come off and leave streaks, which again is not any damage or anything like that. So basically what it's doing, it's just washing off that that dressing. So this will at least prevent some of that streaking a little bit. But also, as you can see, this door has some dressing on there. So what we're going to have to do here is wipe down our panel. This is a little bit of water and alcohol. Wipe it down just so we can get some of that a little bit off of there, so our tape can stick on there nicely. I'm going to do that. We're probably going to we're obviously going to have to let it dry for a little bit before we go ahead and we stick it right back on there. So we got that going on. Move our stuff here out of the way. Go back over there. Tape up our other door. So this plastic stuff, we order it on Amazon, and the tape also I order it on Amazon as well. You can get it at Home Depot, but sometimes most of the times I just get pretty lazy. So see how this one, now that we cleaned off that dressing, that sticks pretty nicely. So now we got that. This guy should be pretty good to go there. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and start prepping our car. So first step, once we start prepping our stuff here, always remember we gotta clean everything off the car, clean our window, make sure we take off all these stickers and whatnot off of there. Make sure you take that kind of stuff off, all that stuff off. Turn this on. Turn this bad boy off. So what I like to do first is take a wet towel, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to shove our finger in here and clean out all around these seals as best as possible. Again, to try to reduce as much contamination as possible. Everything we can do within our power to do it, we will. So wiped on basically our work area. Try to get that out of the way. Start rolling for a window. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and you can see it's got some like crud right there because of sometimes these seals, once they're a little bit older, they start to rub off on the glass. So go ahead and clean that edge. We'll take our blue pad, clean the edge of the glass, the whole top of it. Rub that down. After we do that, I like to rub my hand along it also, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Sometimes you don't see that stuff and you end up missing it. But again, after that, so just like whenever you wash a car, start from the top to the bottom. So I like to squeegee from the top down all the way to the edge, and then squeegee down in there, squeegee down in there. Sometimes you see, no, that's on the outside. So we'll go down just slightly, right back up just to give us enough room. Take our towel, clean that top once again, squeegee, go all the way across and down. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I always like to tell everybody, remember to spray from the inside out, because anything that's a contamination, I always want to be pushing it out towards the outside instead of just pushing it right back in and then just having it bounce off all everywhere and lightly mist the rest of it. Come over here, spray down our pattern, wet our hands. Just right by the very edge. I like to grab it. I know a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. Don't touch it, don't touch the edge. Again, everybody has a completely different way. Whatever works for you. If you can use your mental powers and get it to levitate in here, then go for it, my man. So, go ahead and start lining this up at the top over here. So usually whenever you get one end lined up, the far end will line itself up. So now that we have this lined up over here, so make sure we got a close edge, pretty good. Go ahead and proceed to squeegee out the top edge. So I like to just make sure that we squeegee out the top edge, make sure that's sitting right. So a lot of guys, whenever you start out and you take everybody freaks out about what's going on over here. That's going to be taken care of in a second here, so we don't have to really freak out about it, because that's going to be part of the installation process for the rest of it. Take our towel. See, it's tacked and ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll up a window. Boom. So now we got that right. Again, back to eliminating much contamination. So we see that crease over there, right? So you could be tempted to just sit there and you pull it, but basically what you have to do is just basically pull from take the inside and pull it the opposite way, and that'll just come right out. So now we go ahead and we're gonna clean the bottom. Again, spraying from the inside out. Spraying from the inside out, just anything, in case anything came back in. We give it a chance to push it out. Now we pull our liner. Spray our film. Take our little tuck tool. So again, so as I said, whenever we pull this center towards you and away, that just basically set and was gonna go wherever I wanted to go. Same thing over here, we have that, pull it towards us and away. That's gonna sit and go in right where it's gonna go. Now we just feed the rest of it. If you see something catching, take your tool. It's gonna pull our little gasket, give it enough room. Always remember to respray it so that way your squeegee doesn't get it caught. Always overlapping. I don't like to go to the end all the way until I commit and actually go out there so that we can push everything out. Then we take our edge tool, boom. Same thing over here. Take our edge tool. So always remember also with your edge tool, always start from the center out whenever you're squeegeeing, because if you take from the center out, you might get caught on the edge and you might bring in the film and crease it. So start from the center out. So now that we have that ready to go, now we take our towel, take our last bit around the edge over here. I like to go ahead and take it down at the bottom also as well to try to get as much moisture so it starts to dry faster. Now we'll go ahead and we'll clean up that window on the outside, make sure everything's good. Everything looks good. Wipe it down from the inside again. So there we go. Now we have our side window there. Now we move over, go on the other side and basically repeat the process. So we take this. I like to bring my cart over here. And then if you don't have a peel board, I really recommend getting one or building yourself one. I like it a lot. I used to pull right off of, right on the cars. Used to peel it right on the cars as well. But basically again, to try to reduce as much contamination, I found that I was getting contamination from weird random areas and I just couldn't know. I didn't know what it was. But again, you know, you got to remember if you're pulling it, if you have it on your car and then you're pulling it from here, you know, once you spray it, stuff might fall down from the top of the car or something like that. So the more we can do to reduce what could potentially go in there, the better, right? Because it's never 100% perfect. You know, there's always going to be a little bit of dust particles flying around and things like that, and you know, it's just inevitable. You can't avoid it. So again, over here, what we're going to do is we're going to take all our stickers off, just because I don't even know why they put so many stickers on these things. All types of warnings and 800 numbers, and what's this, auto fix. So remove those and then we spray them down again, just because they always leave a glue. See, boom. All right. So ready to go. So remember what we're doing here again is we're going to lower down our window and clean the seals as best as possible. Clean the seals, shove your finger in there, get those cleaned out, boom. And then you clean your work area, which is everything around here, in case, also just because whenever you're starting out, it's a little bit hard to control the film and you start, you know, touching it might touch on the edges and things like that, and that's where you're gonna get some contamination. So now again, we're gonna spray down our window with that top edge. Take our finger and rub that top edge also. Make sure we get as much stuff off of there. And we continue with the rest of it. Like I said before, after that, then I just go ahead and rub my hand on there, make sure I didn't leave anything behind. Take my towel, squeegee from the top down. Front to back. Now we got that little bit left in there, so I just take my squeegee, squeegee that down, squeegee that. Looks like we're pretty good over here. Roll our window down again just to give us a good enough gap to stick our finger in there so we can clean that top edge one more time, because once we rolled it down up, we don't know if we got some stuff up there stuck again. And yes, I know we cleaned that already and it should be clean, but the magic word is it should, so it might not be. Go ahead and do that again. Ready to install. Spraying from the inside out. Our two edges. Missed the inside. Now we're going to go ahead and spray down our pattern. Spray my hands down. So again, what I like to do is I always like to position my edge in the back first, because like I said, a lot of times you freak out what's going on over here in the front, but as long as my back edge is positioned about where it's supposed to be, see where it's going, boom, 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 most of the time the rest of it just falls right into place most of the time. See, so now we have that edge is pretty consistent all the way across. Boom. Go around the side. Make sure we're tucked in here. Good to go. Always make sure we have some slip on there, because you don't want your squeegee to grab on and pull your film. So, boom. Got this. Make sure we set that bad boy. Your first passes are usually pretty soft, just because, just to make sure that it starts to tack on there, and then the last couple ones you start putting some muscle into it, so then that way, it doesn't move. Take our corner tool, go up, make sure we get our corners down. Same thing over here. Try to absorb as much water as we can from that corner, from those edges right there. Just test it, make sure that our pattern is set, it's not moving anywhere. So now we go ahead and we roll up our window. Good to go. All right. Same thing again, just like that other one. We're freaking out. There's something going on right there, right? So what we do is we grab our pattern from the middle towards us and away. Boom, see? That just came out, prevented a big kink or a crease. Good to go. Take our sprayer, same thing. Spray from the inside out, over here, same thing, inside out. We start pulling our film, liner, spray our film. So what we're doing here, same thing, right? Out and away. And the film goes where it's supposed to go. So we got a whole lot of stuff going on over here, but see, we pulled it out and away. All we have to do is we show it where we want it to go. It just falls right into place. So a lot of times whenever you see things grabbing, a lot of the times it's honestly your slip. If you don't have enough slip, you can run into a lot of troubles real quick, you know? So then we take our tool, pull our seal out. to make sure that film sits in there. Boom. See? Spray it down. If you guys have any questions, you know, send them on over, leave a comment. If there's a car that you guys are having issues with or would like to see done, again, leave a comment. You know, whenever we have one in, I'm more than happy to film something for you guys to try to get over the obstacle that you're having. Center out. Center out. Just because I know it's hard sometimes, you know, you try over and over again, and you know, you get frustrated. And that's another thing. Once you start getting frustrated, sometimes the best thing to do is step away from the vehicle a little bit, take a breather. If you smoke, have a smoke break, go have some lunch, something. Because you know, once you start getting a little bit frustrated, that stuff will get to you, and you'll be messing up a lot of film real quick. So go ahead, clean our window. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to wipe down that outside. Make sure everything looks good over here. Boom, 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 boom. Everything looks good. Yeah, you have a little tiny thing right there, but it's like a little crease. So usually those go away, just your finger. You know, or you can use a little chiseler, but I mean, I already got it out anyway, so it's not there. Do that. Do that. Now we have a clean install also on that one as well. Pull off our panel cover. Now we can go ahead and turn this off, but we pull off our door panel cover, wipe it down. That we got minimum water on those door panels. Same thing over here. Me. Thank you, sir. You too. Got that. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our sun strip. So that one we're gonna do on the plotter. Just to let you guys know, it'll be pretty simple and quick. We're not gonna put that one on there. We're not gonna put that one on this video because I think you guys can figure it out. If you can't, you know, let me know. Again, we can do another video for it. But if anything else, for the most part, this bad boy, it's all done and ready to go. Got your two front windows, match to the back, and that's about it. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow us if you guys have any other questions. And like I said, if you guys need anything that you want me to put up, I'm more than happy to help with whatever I can. Hope you guys have a great day.